afternoon. This is Chair Brian Haggerty of the El Paso Community College Board of Trustees. Welcome to our Facilities and Finance Committee meeting. Which I have to read a few things here. If you would like to assess our meeting, you can dial toll-free the number 1-844-621-3956. Enter access code 120-247-0188. To access call, and when requested, enter hashtags. And through audio video feed, fund at youtube.com/GoEPCC. Any member of the public wishing to make a comment or question regarding an agenda item can email the comments or questions to the following email address: boardquestions@epcc.edu. All backup and related material for the meeting can be accessed at the following link: epcc.edu/administration/board of trustees. I want to welcome all of you, and I want to call this meeting to order. And I want the record to show that Ms. Belen Robles will not be here today because she had knee surgery earlier this week. But go ahead and call the rest of the roll, Pam, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Uxer.
Here.
Ms. Sanchez. Here. Dr. Graham. Here. Ms. Nahara is on her way. She'll be here shortly. Ms. Pena. Here. Mr. Haggerty.
Here. Any public comment, Pam?
No one has signed up at this time, sir.
Okay. Go ahead and read number 5, Pam.
Yes, sir. Item 5.1, Mr. Paulo Perez, Program Manager, ECM, will provide an update briefing on the progress of the Combined Fee Revenue Improvement Bonds Series 2016 program. Briefing items will include, but are not limited to, a general update including schedule and budget for all 6 projects, as well as an overall bond schedule and budget update.
Okay. Is he on board here?
Are you with us, Mr. Pettis?
You shoot.
There you go. I hear your voice now. Thank you.
Oh, got me mute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay, good. I thought I was on mute. Sorry about that. Hi, good afternoon, Dr. Serrata, board members, Judge Haggerty. Here in the ACM conference room, I have Mel Herrera, president for ECM, and I have David Rawlings, is the assistant program manager for ECM, and also the manager for the Rio Grande project. I'll start with the Rio Grande. As you can tell now that the scaffolding is out, you can really see how the building is going to look like. Don't let that yellow in the central part fool you. That's just the substrate for the metal panels that'll be applied. And the color will be like a dark bronze and a lighter color of bronze on the right, and you'll be just like in the rendering. So this view is looking south on North Oregon, and we're going to go lower from the same location but lower at street level. You have a good view of the main facade of the building. This other picture on the left, it's looking north on North Oregon. And on the next slide, on the left side, we have the southwest corner. And that little, on the right, you can see the Queen House. And then on the right picture, we have the northwest corner that shows mostly the parking garage levels. So going on to the interior of the building, on the left side, we have the 6th floor, the main corridor. On the right side, we have the Justice Classroom. Also on the 6th floor, we have on the left side, the Cardio Lab. And on the right side, there's a student study area off the corridor. You can see here where the glass is. On the left side, we have the computer technology classroom, also on the sixth floor. And on the right side, we have the restrooms. Of course, the mirrors are not in yet, but you can give you an idea of the tile work that's in place already. Going on to the seventh floor, on the left side, we have the main sim suite corridor. And on the right side, we have the main west corridor. And what you see too is that same tile you saw in the restrooms off the corridor. It's a glass tile. Yes, sir.
I have a question. On
Yes,
looking
sir.
at the photos, it looks like, is it, the way the picture was taken, is the ceiling sloped? Or is it held horizontal?
It's horizontal. And the problem, actually, to be perfectly honest, some of these pictures are a little deceiving because it was taken with a wide angle lens, which
Okay.
you get distortion out of it. It shows you more, but you also get distortion, and that's what it is. But
So-
it is a
so
flat
we
ceiling.
didn't-
Yes, sir.
We didn't slope.
No, we didn't get creative. No, no. Thank you for the question. So on the parking garage now, wherever we can, they've already been on the right side already striping. Some areas where they will still have storing materials, they haven't strapped that part yet. You can also see on the left side, you can see a typical landing area off the elevators. They're painted with the EPCC green, and it is a green, teal. I'm sorry, teal, and so they all look like that in every floor. So we kind of, if you're in the parking garage, you can spot those right away where the elevator lobbies are. This area here, and part of the reason I wanted to show you this is, as you probably, if you've had the chance to look at the report, at the presentation prior to now, you'll see that the project got pushed considerably. And this area is one of the reasons that it did. So on the right side, the aerial view is probably the best one where you can tell what's happening. So when this was designed, they weren't sure what they're going to encounter below grade. And now that we're digging, they're coming to the realization that the foundation for the existing house, which you all know is an historical house, it's pretty close, if not right on the line. So they're having to redesign. They got a structural engineer. They're having to redesign that area to at least pull back away from the house. Maybe about 10 feet. Do you know something like that, where they'll basically have a planter, no structure, because once you start doing those footings, the vibration could cause us some issues, and the last thing we want is obviously to cause damage to an historical house. So that was one of the reasons. I'll go into another one so far, but I wanted to show you this so at least you can put your eyes where the location where this is the issue. So in general,
President,
yes, sir.
Can you go back one?
Yes. Oops.
Well,
Okay,
you
here it is.
mentioned- No, yeah. Can you mention the issue? I guess
Well,
I wasn't
so-
listening fast enough. But
Sure.
there's an issue, and you're saying pouring footings, and so what footings are we pouring now at this point in time?
Well, what the structural engineer is looking at, we are due, I believe, next week, a solution for them, a resolution, and the architect will review this as well. What they're hoping to do is basically cantilever where the planters would be, instead of taking the structure for the slab, the existing, not the new slab, instead of taking the structure right up against the structure of the house, because there's concern about vibration, what they're going to do, or at least what I was told they're working on, is pulling that away about 10 feet from the house. That way it's safer, and there should mitigate the risk that would create by having, digging footings all right up against that house. It's more, and honestly, my question to them to begin is, well, why didn't we do this during design? But the answer came is we didn't know what we are going to find until we start digging that out. And so that's why we're just now running into this. And the issue we have, and we're working on this, but our concern is because this includes the main accessible entrance for handicap to the building, and also because this is a required exit, we are thinking that maybe the fire marshal very likely won't allow us to open the building, but we are going to talk to them to see if maybe they'll let us have a temporary occupancy where we can at least start moving the furniture. Because until that is done, we're hoping that because putting furniture there is really not occupying the building, we're hoping that they will allow us to do that. And that's something else we're working in the meantime, concurrent to this issue. Did I answer your question?
Sort of. Are you familiar with PERT?
I'm sorry?
Are you familiar with the concept of PERT, project engineering structuring? In other words, it comes back to this where you said you don't understand why they didn't do that. And that's what I'm asking. How come the deal, and how come ECM didn't certify pouring the footings and doing all of the base work prior to start of this? How come you're not just now getting around to pouring footings? I mean, this is something the ECM should have caught.
Yeah, let me try to tackle that. So what happened is there was a foundational design that made it part of the drawings, and that was developed with the known information at the time without doing destructive digging, I guess, during the design, right? Nothing was moved, and some assumptions were made by the architect about how to put that slab and those structures. Remember, this is like a little park, a pocket park that we're gonna have with stairs because there's a significant change of grade. So there's some structural elements, and so when they finally uncovered and removed all that existing structures, they realized that it would be too risky to continue with their existing design without damaging the home. So this is an unforeseen condition that is concealed during the time of design, and therefore it was not something that we could have anticipated. Again.
What it boils down to is that the architect made an assumption that everything was good to go, and y'all have bought into it. I mean, there's nothing we do about it now. I just don't want. Frankly, you should have foreseen, or should have been able to ask, have we certified this? Are we sure? Rather than assuming and everything's good. So don't come back and asking for more money to project extension for something that.
There's no more money being spent here. There's no more money being spent here, just to clarify that.
Okay.
It's just a matter of timing, but, But
this is something that should have been done. You should have had your base structure all certified, not assumed correct.
Well, again, there's only so much that they can dig during design, right? It's like when you go and explore, I mean, you pay to explore as well, to make sure that you have all the conditions. And in El Paso, we're always gonna find pipes that weren't shown on the drawings. You're gonna find even some issues that are geotechnical that weren't picked up during the geotech study because not all the underground is uniform. All these things happen, and it is called unforeseen condition.
That's fine. I think we'll just settle on. We'll agree to disagree on when we should have.
Okay, noted.
But that's good enough. Let's go ahead and go. Nothing we can do about it now.
All right, thanks, Mr. Exter. Thank you, Mel. So going on to this last slide. So we met with the contractor. They provided us a schedule on last Friday afternoon, and they went over, and please do keep in mind that a lot of these issues they are bringing up, they are related to the last month or so with things as we're wrapping up that impacted their schedule. At this point, we chose to proceed on trying to get those issues addressed. Keep in mind that we will go back and assess where quote unquote the fault is on this, if nothing else, to know if we should charge the contractor days or not. But with that being said, I mean, everybody, including the deans, we did go talk to the dean also. We're trying to anticipate any further delays. And at this point, it seems like this is the biggest hump to get over. Once we're done, we still obviously need to wrap up IT work in AV and security. So right now, at least what we discussed with the dean is that, the bricks and mortar part might be done in time for the fall semester, but we'll have to get a little creative in terms of accommodating the students, at least during the first few weeks. So the good news is that we do have the mechanical work going, and we are still, like I said before, trying to get a temporary certificate of occupancy so we can at least start moving the furniture in there. And looking at this.
Again, real quick question.
Yes, sir.
Talking about being creative so that we can get in the semester. Are you read in with the dean? Is the dean online with the scheduling and being creative for classwork? Because that's where all the classwork is done. If the dean approves it, then we've made progress.
Exactly. And to answer the question, she's not happy, but she is on board, and she is she's actually being excellent as far as being proactive and come up with ideas on ways we can start class.
You don't want to make Dr. Hajar unhappy.
Unfortunately, I have, and it really breaks my heart, but we unfortunately, but she's been absolutely outstanding from the standpoint of getting there and brainstorm with us and find ways to get.
That's your heart that's broken.
Pardon?
Nothing.
I didn't catch that. Okay. Oh, okay. David just told me what you said. So right now we're certainly looking at substantial completion of August 5th. And as you can tell, I even slid the confidence level to bricks and mortar to the middle. So next month probably we'll be able to be a little more specific, because to be perfectly honest, it did catch us a little bit off guard when the contractor, gave us this information, particularly since last month we just told you otherwise. But so next month, hopefully we'll be able to get all the activities ironed out and see what we can do in the meantime. Any questions on Rio Grande?
Mr. Perez, I do have a question. Where is the signage going to be on the building? If you go back to the.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me go back. It's going to be, can you see my arrow?
Yes.
Okay, not there?
It's southeast.
Okay, hold on. Okay, what about this one? Yeah, this one. So EPCC right here, right? So are we going to have a logo too, aren't we?
Yes.
The logo
A
is
big one.
Oh, the logo is down low. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's going to be right. No, thank you. Thank you, David. EPCC right here and no logo. The logo is down here by the entrance. Yeah, okay.
When is that going to be up?
Well,
The logo's been produced. We're waiting for the metal panels. It'll be installed right after the metal panels. The large EPCC.
Sorry, this is David Rawlings, Dr. Graham. So the EPCC, we're going to do a mock-up because it has lighting. So we're going to do a mock-up of that soon. That's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. The metal panels are going on right now in North Oregon. And Rick Lobato has already shown me they've produced the EPCC logo. So that's going to go on immediately after. So in the next couple of weeks, we should have both of those going in.
Okay. And you said that this might be done by the fall semester. That we need to look and see what can be done to get it done ready for next semester.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are.
Smite is not going to cut it.
It acknowledged. I agree.
And I know that a little while ago you said, oh, it's not going to cost anything. This is costing. It's,
Yep.
Time is of
Yes,
the
Mr.
essence.
Mr. Perez did agree. It's like it's costing us time. It is, if not money, it is costing us time. We agree.
But time is money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you all have a plan for how you're going to expedite it to get it done for the fall semester? I know that Dean might be very nice about it, but you know, it was our responsibility to get it delivered on time, under budget and ahead of schedule, remember?
Dr. Ram, this is Mel Herrera. Yes, we've had multiple plans. We're pushing the contractor. We're trying to coordinate with, we're coordinating with the IT, AV, security of the college that have a part on this. We're also coordinating with the equipment installers, and we're pushing all the buttons, and we're working our best. We're doing all we can, again, without holding the contract of the contractor ourselves and being able to kick them out or do anything. We're pushing as much as we can, and we just got this schedule update, and we're going to evaluate it. We're going to also push with the architect to reduce the time of reviews of things that need to be fixed, so that we can expedite and remove any roadblock for the contractor to get it done.
So what's the
that's all we can tell you.
consequence if things don't get done, both on your end and on the contractor's side?
Well,
Because talking about it and saying we're pushing it is not getting it done. What is the plan? I want to see a concrete set of goals and how they're going to be met and what's going to be the consequence if they don't. Because it's, you know, first it was all because of COVID. Okay, so COVID has slowed down, but so have the contractors. Let's come up with a plan.
As I mentioned, we do have a plan, and the plan of the contract is the schedule that the contractor produces, and we're evaluating and we're telling them where they can shorten their time. It's their contract, and the consequence for the contractor per contract is liquidated damages that will be assessed. For us is to basically work for free after August, and of course your assessment of our services is also a consequence. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. I mean, we have all kinds of plans, and if you wanted to look at the CPM, we can produce it for you next time. It is the contractor schedule, and we've at length have spoken about some of the techniques and conversations and best practices that we've used to try to keep the contractor going. We could probably put a list together for you to evaluate as well. But that's all I can say at this point.
And I appreciate the offer, except that we hired you all because we don't have the expertise to do all of that work ourselves. At least I can speak for myself. Many school buildings as I've been involved with, I don't have the expertise to go get the contractors to finish on time. But that's why we hired a management company.
Noted.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Dr. Graham. Thank you, David. So hopefully, Dr. Graham will have something more to show you and a little more concrete next month. So as far as the pay, it is, you can tell it's starting to close. As a matter of fact, we're so close to getting done. I think this is really kind of served its purpose.
Chris, I have
Yes,
one more
sir.
question. No,
Yes, sir.
don't flip. What we see is that we do the work and then we're billing. Okay, and I don't have a problem. It's just that at some point you're going to be structurally through, but the billing. So what is the lag time or what is the difference in time for billing after the project is completed? I mean, are we going to be waiting 2 months? Or are we going to see 3 months? Or bill's going to be extended out for another year? Or when will, I mean, typically, how long does it take to go ahead and clean up all the financing?
Well, typically 30 to 60 days, but I can tell you right now, based on our experience with the Braun projects, we won't pay a penny until we get what they earn. So in other words, we don't try to rush it. If they don't provide the information, if they don't provide the work, they don't get paid. It's as simple as that.
I understand that. Let's just assume that the project is 100% complete.
If the project is truly 100% complete, then they should be able to get a final certificate and then attach that to the final pay app and get all their retainage. Don't forget the retainage. And I would say if it's truly final complete, I'd say 30 days.
Okay.
Minus liquidated, actually Mel had a good point, minus liquidated damages, yes.
We're
That
not
would be a
looking-
change order. Uh-huh.
We're generally not looking at 3 to 6 months to clean up.
No, sir. If we're truly at 100%, the problem we've had is that we're not truly 100% in terms of them providing all the information required by the specifications to close.
Understand.
The specifications are very specific, forgive the pun, on
Well,
what the requirements
not
are to
completed.
close a
You're
project.
not
And until they
complete, you're
provide
not
all that.
100% complete, and that's what I'm saying. Once you're 100% complete, what's the?
Oh, yeah, then 30 days should be
Okay.
plenty. Yeah, yeah.
Plus or minus, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mhm. Okay. Going to Valle Verde, here's a view. I hope you're not getting too tired of some of the same pictures, but I try to get some different angles at least to show you. So the building, for all practical purposes, is complete in terms of bricks and mortar. So this is a view here on the east and northeast. This is what the reason I took these pictures is so you can tell. So the backflow preventer, if you recall, that's what's keeping us from getting occupancy. And so the actual fire system work, it's all complete. Unfortunately, we had to do also and I might have told you this in the past, we had to do also electrical work, and we need to have network connectivity, and we need to have power to that backflow preventer. We did have a little hiccup this week. There's a couple of days that the crew basically disappeared and it's not coming back. I was told they're collecting unemployment, but we did get another crew, and they pretty much guarantee they'll be done by the end of the day, Friday. If that is the case, then next week we should be able to bring in the fire marshal and get a final occupancy. So we can literally have that last step in. Now, obviously, let me show you a few more pictures here. So this is the first floor, the lobby area, and another picture of the right, taken from the landing of the stairs. And also we have the conference room it's a large conference room on the second floor on the left. And on the right, you have the faculty offices suite, and there's also a little collaborative area on the left. We do have an interesting result from the logo. The architect claims they meant it. I don't know that they meant, but it does look pretty good. At a certain time in the day, as you can tell, the logo projects onto the terrace, so it does. I do think it's pretty interesting effect. And so I'm sharing these pictures with you just to show you that. So we did request a proposal from the architect for the sign, and I wanted to run this by you. The next step obviously will be get a contractor to price this, but I just wanted to run this by you. This is where they proposed. This is the drawing that the architect produced. ECM did this rendering here, this picture, just to give you an idea of the scale and how that's going to go with the AST letters next to it. We think it certainly be a major asset, and it will be similar to the one on the right, which is the existing one, just a little bit smaller. Other than that, that's it. So that's okay. I'm sorry. So we do have the estimated substantial completion is this Friday. That's at least that's what we're shooting for. And if they can get that backflow preventer taken care of, that's probably what they'll get. Everything else being punched, the plumbing work, because we had to do this work in the backflow preventer, they didn't have any water for the wall. So when the plumbing engineer got there, he punched some, but obviously see if the faucets are running water and things like that, they couldn't do it. So they did it today. And they should be wrap up the plumbing. So then after that, all we're lacking now is the furniture installed on the first floor. And then we'll have to get security IT and AV also done hopefully before the classes start in the fall. So here's the schedule, and we still feel pretty confident on the bricks and mortar portion that they'll be ready for the fall semester. So change orders, my understanding is that the board requested that they see the most recent change orders from the current projects that are going on. And this was to start from the last board meeting. And so I did a query on the software. And right now we had 0 owner approved change orders at Mission and Rio Grande and Valle Verde. At Valle Verde, for the sake of full disclosure, I did process about 5 on Monday. So at the next board meeting, I'll make sure those are there. Right now they're shown as draft, but they'll be shown as approved, and I'll make sure to point those out to you. And the same thing at Rio Grande, we hadn't had anything approved since the 4/28 board meeting. So as far as the hours worked, thank goodness, no recordable safety incidents at all. So it's been, from that standpoint, it's been very positive. And as far as the schedule planner, I did add a couple of asterisks on Valle Verde and Rio Grande, just to emphasize that definitely bricks and mortar will be ready. And we're working with ITAV and security to make sure that hopefully we can achieve a fall date for the students to begin. Rio Grande is probably the one that's a little further behind, but we're certainly working with everybody involved on that. So as far as the budget, we're still actually doing quite well. There hasn't been any major variance. Of course, we've been paying some change orders from that, but we're still looking at a total contingency of 1.4 million. We do have, particularly at Rio Grande, some major work to do. So that's very likely there'll be some additional changes there. Valle Verde also, there might be some more changes. But overall, no major changes so far. And the same thing here. It's basically the same slide I showed you last time. So with that being said, any questions? Okay.
You know, you hope to be able to make classes this fall. I presume that means that you're talking with the deans, and the deans are ready to do whatever they have to do to make sure they handle classes. And you've given them the what ifs, that if this is not available, they can do this so we can have class, right?
Yes, sir. So at the Mission right now, we feel pretty confident that's not going to be an issue. At the Valle Verde, it's going to be tight, but if we can do some major coordination with getting the IT up, I think that's going to be the major challenge. Shouldn't be a problem. Obviously, our major concern is Rio Grande right now, just because there's still a lot of work to go, and to get the network going on that one, it'll be a little bit of a challenge. That's why if we sound cautious, that's why.
The answer is yes. The answer to your specific question is yes. We are talking to the deans, and I mean, it's a work in progress, specifically on Rio Grande, because again, we still have 2 months to go, and we're pushing hard. So we're not discarding full opening, but we are looking at potential plan B and C with their agreement and with their direction and with their input for sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you all for the attention, and I guess that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, Pam, we're going to go, can you read number 6?
Executive session, the Board of Trustees may conduct an executive or closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code for one or more of the following reasons. consultation with its attorney to seek or receive legal advice, or consultation regarding pending contemplated litigation, or for any purpose authorized by law, discussion about the value or transfer of real properties, discussion about a prospective gift or donation, consideration of specific personnel matters, discussion about security personnel or devices, or discussion of certain economic development matters. The board may also announce that it will go into executive session on any item listed on this agenda if the subject matter is permitted for a closed session by provisions in Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Any vote regarding these items shall be taken in open session.
Okay, so we're going to reconvene our executive session. Do I have a motion for adjournment? Okay, all in favor? Aye.